blade, just to be able to, use that shield to mitigate a bit of damage from those overloads. We'll have to see. He could choose to do either. Of course, Vorpal Blade does give you a bit of sustain as you max it. The health back increases as you rank it up. So interesting to see what he chooses to do. But I do expect him to have a bit of trouble in this lane unless Delicious comes to help him out.
Yeah, as he might be able to get a decent amount of harass on with that Vorpal Blade, but surely you can't expect to beat a Rise in that lane.
No. As for the other matchups, Ari and Oriana in the mid lane is a fairly, skill-based matchups, as I was talking about with Oriana really being able to just farm, and she's quite oppressive with that ball of the zone control in lane. But, for the most part, I don't see too much action in that lane. Both champions being fairly safe for themselves. But this bot lane, though, it is really going to come down to the playmaker making his plays with those death sentences. Especially on best support, being on that Zillion, a very, very squishy champion. If they can manage to hook him in. If they can do that before level 6, before the chrono shift is available, expect bot lane to be very, very explosive. Especially Turtle on that Corki being, a fairly high damage AD carry in the early game, being an ability-based AD carry. And Delicious on that Lee Sin with the Dark Passage option of ganking, really... I expect most of the action in this, especially in this early game in the laning phase, to be in that bottom lane.
Yeah, and the Twitch pick as well. I think it's fallen out of favor recently, but still very strong as I've seen it in solo queue, just absolutely ripping.
Well, it has also come back into a bit of popularity in Worlds recently. There's, especially with the Jarvan Oriana combo, is a fair amount of lockdown. It's enough to group up the enemy team in terms of and allowing that spray and pray to really go down and work its damage on the enemy team. But Delicious on that Lee Sin is going to give him quite a bit of time. Best AD is going to have to make sure he's not revealed, by the Tempest and by the Sonic Wave. It's often stealth reveal is quite troublesome for Twitch to deal with, especially in the early game. Lee Sin being one of the most effective junglers against a Twitch. Having that stealth reveal to be able to gank him early if he does try and use that ambush to get away.
Yeah, and just if he just chooses to camp that bot lane, that's going to be pretty troublesome.
Yeah, so that this bottom lane most likely where the early game action is going to happen. As for level 1 action, I'm not too sure. Best Team Oz on really not too much in terms of level 1 control. They've got a bit of a rune prison, but that's not a very strong crowd control, especially at level 1. Really, all they have is that time warp from Best Support Oz. So, yeah, whereas on the other side, you see you've got Thresh with those death sentences, and of course Jimmy on that Shen with that Shadow Dash, able to taunt up an entire team. So they've got two actually single target catch-outs in the Charm and the Death Sentence. So in terms of a level 1 fight, I would definitely have to give it to Alpha Void, I believe.
Yeah, Alpha Void.
Yeah, Alpha Void. Whether or not they choose to press that level 1 advantage, we'll have to wait and see. But they definitely have the advantage at level 1 just by their choice of team comp.
Yeah, and just really keen to see how these matchups are actually going to work.
I'm interested to see what the playmaker decides to start with. Thresh pretty much has a large choice of starting items. You see the occasional Doran's shield, but other than that, you often see the relic shield, which he has chosen to start with. Personally, I'm also a fan of the ancient coin. Both of them very viable on Thresh. You know, you don't have to rely on your last hitting potential to get those executes, and that can be quite hard to do as the game goes on. But like we said, they do have the stronger level 1 comp, and they are looking to invade at level 1.
Yeah, and Beast AD has spotted them out. They have warded that, and they know that they're walking through a ward.
Oh.
Oh my lord, that death sentence! Beast AD will be dropped within seconds.
Yeah,
And
so yeah.
that kill will be going to Delicious.
Mm. He could have flashed it theoretically, but honestly, I don't think he thought it was going to land. I think he thought he was out of range, and to be honest, I thought he was out of range
I
as
thought
well.
he was
So
out of range as well.
I'm very that was a max range death sentence there, and yeah, Alpha Void rewarded with the level 1 kill. Another death sentence for good measure. Just a little bit of damage onto best support Oz. He's really not going to mean much though.
Yeah, and that's going to be a lot of gold onto Delicious.
Yeah, so Delicious, of course, on that Lee Sin, he does go back and he bought an extra health potion and a sight ward, and so he's going to be sitting on another 200 gold. So he didn't spend all of the first blood gold, but he does have an extra sight ward, and especially on Lee Sin, that's quite important because it means he will have an extra ward to hop to in addition to his trinket for those early game ganks that he's able to put out.
Yeah, and both junglers just starting their respective buffs. Shownfire going to start that red buff, as well as Delicious starting the blue.
Yeah, so both junglers starting the bottom side of the map, as you often see. So, potential for some top side level 3 action, as the junglers hit the level 3 from their buffs. We'll have to wait and see whether they choose to do that, but I'm expecting this top lane really going to be determined by jungle pressure, so I'm expecting that to be what they choose to do.
Yeah, and just looking at this top lane right now as well, its vibes is scaring Jimmy off a fair bit.
Yeah, so Jimmy with that Doran's shield will be able to just sustain up for a while, but yeah, he's really having trouble right now. Of course, starting with that lane. Oh yeah.
Yeah, best support Oz just got dropped fairly low, but seems like best team AU have turned it. The flash flay goes out. That will be the bomb dropping Playmaker very low.
Yeah, so nice
another bomb and a death sentence. That would be Playmaker going down, but Beast AD in a lot of trouble. Yeah. That will be 2 kills in the favor of Alpha Void.
Yeah, so Playmaker making the plays, landing the flays, landing the death sentences, and both junglers currently waiting in the wings. Oh, Delicious doesn't quite land the Sonic Wave. And Shownfire, he's just waiting this. Oh, he's gonna find Delicious here.
Yeah, Delicious has just walked past Shownfire, but might be looking for it. No, he misses the combo.
Oh no, that's disappointing. Yeah, so like I said at the start of the game, Jimmy really going to have trouble in this lane unless Delicious decides to help him out. Shownfire, of course, knowing this, did go up in the top side, and he wasn't looking for a gank, he was looking for a counter gank. So he was waiting in that lane brush, waiting for Delicious to show himself, expecting that to be in the top side. Oh, a nice charm in the mid lane's going to let Frey put quite a bit of trade damage onto Oath. But yeah, so Shownfire was just waiting in that top lane brush, waiting for Delicious to come in for that gank onto the Rise, who was pushed up, past the halfway point, and of course, a nice gank into the mid lane.
Just flashes it, gets the charm off though onto Shownfire, getting a little bit of damage, but
yeah. So free flash burn, good job there by Shownfire coming in. But yeah, after Delicious showed himself in mid with that missed Sonic Wave, he did show himself walking up towards the top side. So Shownfire, went moved himself from the top lane brush into
Jimmy looks caught. He looks like he's in a lot of trouble. He landed the taunt, but it didn't. He was knocked up at the same time, so he couldn't complete the dash.
Yeah, but it is kind of hard to gank a Shen, especially when he was that close to his tower. Even though he got the jump on him behind, there just wasn't enough damage to take him down. And although vibes, quite a lot of pressure in this top lane, and Jimmy, though Jimmy managing to keep up in CS for the most part, so doing a good job for himself there. A nice Sonic Wave in the mid lane, just a little bit of damage onto Oath, and Tortle continually landing those phosphorus bombs in the bottom lane, really able to put some trade damage down. Really the only CS disparity is the bottom lane currently going in favor of Alpha Void, especially with that early 2 kills. And a nice hook to start a trade.
Yep. Best support Oz, just getting a little bit of damage down onto him, but does try to trade it back with the time bombs.
Yeah, and of course you see Vibes now has picked up a pink ward on his first back, so he's really looking to make sure Schönfire, who's just in the mid lane now.
Schönfire just gets ganked, but gets out with the ultimate there, the Spirit Rush.
Yeah, of course, Frey just hitting that level 6 before that gank happened, able to use that to get out. Schönfire looking to come in, knowing the flash was down, trying to get in before Frey had hit level 6, but unfortunately for him, he had just hit level 6 before he came in, so able to use that Spirit Rush to get out. Of course, both Spirit Rush and Flash now down, so if Schönfire wants to go for that wraparound gank after this Wolf camp, it will be quite potent and delicious in the area as well. Knowing that that's the potential.
It could be a delicious play to be made, but yeah, Vibes zoning out Jimmy very well. And Schönfire maybe looking for another gank onto Frey. Gets knocked up. The shockwave goes out. Frey getting dropped dangerously low. Surely Oath will get the kill through the ignite and the last auto attack. Very well played there.
Yeah, so Schönfire really making those ganks pay off there. The first one comes in, immediately blows the flash, and gets out, knowing there wasn't any more of a gank to be had there. Second gank comes in, burns the Spirit Rush, and now that both of Ari's escapes were down, he comes in for a third gank, and he with the escapes down, Ari's really just, Frey was just a sitting duck for all the damage and abilities to come out. The crowd control, the Dragon Strike, EQ combo from Schönfire landed, the Shockwave landed. Really, Frey was not getting out of that one.
Yeah, and Tortle holding his own 1v2 in this bot lane here.
Yeah, so Tortle going quite well. A bit of advantage after that double kill. Sorry, the 2 kills, one on each of the laners actually. Of course, buffs now have respawned, so Schönfire's taken his... Both junglers have taken their red, and both junglers are about to donate their blue buffs as well, so... We'll have to see how the mid lanes are affected with those... I tell lies, red has only just respawned for Delicious, so he's going to go and take that now. So yeah. We'll have to wait and see what the junglers decide to do with those, and mid lane is going to be happy with their respective blue buffs.
Yeah, and looking to see, actually, if Delicious can get any support onto these lanes.
Looks like Best Team Oz are looking for a potential red buff invade. They were moving towards it, but Schönfire still looks like he wants to invade.
Yeah, and he has been spotted
by a pink ward though.
Delicious knows he's there, throws out the Sonic Wave, and just Schönfire backs that off. Frey, maybe they might be looking to get an engage off, but Delicious getting dropped very low, getting a very nice Dragon's Rage, but Delicious is caught in the Cataclysm. The Shen ultimate goes out. That'll be a kill for Delicious once more. Very well played there.
Yeah, Jimmy there with a nice... obviously called by the team to come and save Delicious there, but a nice play there. Good use of the Stand United turns what would have been a 1-for-1 trade into a free kill. Schönfire just getting a bit over aggressive and not respecting the collapse potential of Alpha Void. So they are up now 4 kills to 2, and but the game's still fairly even. Really, no deciding plays have been made yet. We'll have to see what happens with that first dragon fight. Alpha Void with an advantage in that right now, having the stronger bot lane.
Yeah.
And you know, the everywhere else is mostly even. Although Delicious with those 2 kills